Hey everyone, it's LS, and this is going to be another speed VOD review. Today I'm joined by NA Challenger player Kaizen Lowell. You can follow him on Twitter in the description below. He was a Academy player in North America this past spring split. And this VOD review, it should be noted, I am still currently recovering from eye surgery. It's kind of hard to look around the entire screen. And then also, because of the eye surgery, I've been gone for a little while, so I'm actually going to be skipping the picks and bans just because I don't feel comfortable enough giving information or analysis or stuff like that that I don't feel really strong about, or that I might just be missing information on. We're going to try to do these VOD reviews and see how they turn out. A lot of people in chat wanted them, and I got other requests on Twitter, so without talking about anything else, we're just going to jump into it, and I'm actually excited to see how this series, I know the end result, but I want to see exactly if a lot of the criticism was justified towards SKT, or how they even actually managed to win a game in this series, so let's just get into it. Alright. Oh, so let's just talk about first impressions of the draft. So no matter what, I feel like it's really on KT to make things happen. Like there's a lot of pressure on Rush. There's a lot of pressure on UCal, on Istalia. Yeah. And if they don't make things work, then it just becomes really problematic. The one thing that they have going for them is if they can get any initiative, obviously on the bottom right-hand side of the map, right? Then they're likely going to establish river control, and then obviously dragons, because this entire team composition wants to accelerate, wants to get ahead fast. It wants to just keep the pressure on. It can't let this comp get late game. The problem is that this composition is on blue side. So when you're talking about late game Baron stuff, it's already a nightmare for KT to actually get the Baron outside of like a Talia wall. Talia wall is the only thing that they have going for them. They can they can prevent them from coming in, trap them inside of their own blue side jungle. But the problem is that outside of that Talia wall, or if it's not available, or if SKT isn't giving up enough ground, then it is almost impossible for this KT composition to A, get wards inside of SKT's blue side jungle, so Nar's not going to have any flank teleport ability, and then these guys can just comfortably turtle 4 or 5 items inside the blue side jungle. They can give up bottom tier 1, mid tier 1, top tier 1, they can turtle the tier 2 turrets, they can give up bottom tier 2 if they really even need to, and then just play a fortified game like this. Like that would be their base, right? So then all they have to do is play this pocket, right? But realistically, it's going to be like that. That's all they have to defend. So I don't see how KT could ever win this game outside of like Olaf getting really, really far ahead very early, and Talia having insane amounts of pressure.
Talia kills bot? It's like
everything is on bot and mid.
Yeah.
And right side. So when you're SKTelecom and you know this, I mean, I feel like it's so easy to just play against that. SKT doesn't need to make proactive plays. Jarvan does not need to be aggressive. Jarvan just needs to be like off-tank Jarvan if he even wants to. He can just go full tank Jarvan, right? Defensive control wards, defensive vision wards, restrict Talia, restrict Olaf from doing anything. Pray that, Drake RNG is on your side, and then you just win. SKT does not need to do anything to win. KT,
they win naturally.
They win naturally, yeah. The game just will win for them. I know that guy, I think. He's actually, I think, a pretty big fan. Five-point opening. I think this is pretty standard. If any team was going to probably risk anything early on, it would probably be the team with Olaf, even though there's a Braum present, but I don't think there's any reason to risk anything like that. And this is a best of 5. Jarvan starting blue, Olaf starting red, or Wraith side, and they're going to go into red. And this is good because but both junglers are going to be pathing onto the right-hand side. So naturally, as long as Blank and SKT are playing this correctly, it should favor them.
And just neutralize?
Yeah, they just neutralize. And the problem that Rush is having, right, is even if he starts on the right-hand side, let's say that hypothetically he goes for like a full clear, right? Mm-hmm. He gets a leash on blue or something unusual, right? And he does blue, and then he does Gromp, and then he does Wolves, and then he goes into Wraiths, and he goes into red. Mm-hmm. The problem is that even if he ends up getting the full clear, that's not good enough considering what this team composition needs. The other problem is that Swain gets to, or Thal on Swain gets to actually dictate what exactly he wants to do up inside of top lane. So if Rush ended up doing something super cheesy, or just going like red into Wraith, or blue into Wraiths into red or something, and then looking to do something, he can't.
Yeah.
It's just not possible. So Olaf's roots are naturally going to be restricted. He either has this, right, and then standby, or he has this, which is just abysmal. It's so terrible. It's basically unusable, right? Or he has the opening that he chose to do, which is probably just going to be this, I'm assuming. This is a little bit better, and the problem is that he can get priority, he can get Scuttle Crab, but it shouldn't amount to anything. As long as Faker and Bang and Wolf play in a way that they're gank immune, Olaf always falls behind early game. Just due to the nature of the jungle roots that are forced to open and the dynamic of top lane. Top lane and the colors of top lane actually impact this kind of bad. So, like, this is another problem with KT's draft. Or another predicament that they're going to find themselves getting into. Jarvan actually just goes for a 3 camp. I think that's the safest thing that he could do. I don't even think that it's... I mean, I guess you can argue that it's necessary, but UCal now coming in, he's trying to get some deep wards. They know that he's no longer at Wraiths. And you can just see what Rush is doing now on Olaf. And come and get Ocean Drake, but that's actually warded out, so that's really, really good by SKT.
Whoa.
Yeah. This is really, really, really good. And Olaf is super, super, super far behind.
Okay.
Like, this is almost... Like, it sounds really exaggerated to say that it's almost game over inside of the jungle and we're 4 minutes in, but it's really, really painful. It's so bad. You can't go top. You can't go mid. Everyone knows exactly what your CS is, which means that everyone knows when your camps are coming back up.
Yeah, they know you have to be top.
Yes.
Side. Yeah.
It's like Smeb can't do anything anymore against Thal. So Thal's just sitting pretty. Doesn't need to invest into wards, doesn't need anything. Any vision that's going to be committed onto the left-hand side of the map by KT is likely just to be a control ward inside of River. Outside of that, they have no value. So now what they're going to be hoping for is they're going to try to make some sparks fly, I guess, with Talia at level 6, but as long as SKT acknowledge that, they can just sit pretty and scale.
You could like 3-man top.
Could try to 3-man top, right, but that would require Thal to like play poorly and Faker not to have vision. Like, if Faker has like ward here and then ward here, right, and then Thal has like, I don't know, ward here or something like that,
You shouldn't die.
it shouldn't be possible. So what is UCal really going to do when Faker just needs to not go aggressive on Azir, and thus naturally he's going to be able to conserve a little bit more mana throughout the laning phase, knowing that he's like, okay, I'm just going to play on my half of the lane and not move, because the onus is on KT to make something happen. This is a nightmare spot right now. If you're KT, you probably feel really bad.
It's like you have to make a desperate play.
You have to
And
do
it's 5
something.
minutes
It's
in.
5 minutes in and you have to make a desperate play.
Yeah.
That is one of the worst feelings in the entire world. Well, I almost actually got to pick up on Bang right there. Let's look at the jungler roots. You look at the vision out of SKT. And then you're asking yourself, like, what does KT even do? Deft and Mod are not really achieving too much. In fact, they're even actually losing in bottom lane, which is something that they didn't want to happen. Although, getting a lot of value right there. Well, it's getting turned on them. Lots of damage. And they end up getting a teleport. That's really painful.
Wow.
That's really, really bad. Everything is just not going KT's way right now. Jeez. This is gonna be one of those games that I kind of auto-viewed in the past, or it's a style of game where nothing happens but everything's happening.
Because nothing's happening. So they have to make something.
They have to make something happen, and because nothing, like, they can't, something is happening technically for SKT.
SKT's winning.
Yeah, nothing is actually something. Rush gets spotted out. I mean, I don't even know what they're supposed to do at this point. I mean, the dragon being Ocean doesn't help them out either. Even if they end up picking this up at 10 minutes now, it's not that worthwhile. It's not really going to do anything for them. Here comes Jarvan. And you look at the minimap. And Rush and UCal are moving down, but it's just this defensive play from SKT. KT moving into the jungle. I don't see it, like, if we rewind here, right? And we look at what's happening. So they know that Mata's going into the jungle. And they see Talia. They know that Olaf probably wants to go bottom. Blank sees Olaf. And then why is Wolf actually contesting this ward? Why is Bang coming up? It just doesn't make any sense. If you just don't give them any openings or any opportunities, it's so much better. Like, you can make the argument right now that KT just lost out, but it's the point that you don't even have to do that, and you're going to win. So yes, they ended up getting an advantage. That was really nice by UCal. Teleport coming in. It was really, really close.
I was the same thing. It's like nothing happens, but SKT wins.
Yeah.
Like SKT won that situation, but it looks even.
Yeah. There's no reason for it to happen. In the first place, though. Like, that's the only problem. KT's so far behind. They're so far behind right now. Like, they're ahead in gold, and that would be misleading to the casual viewer, but it is a nightmare.
The gold doesn't tell the full story.
Yeah, the gold doesn't. These types of trades are just also sort of nonsensical. Like, there's no reason not to just play an endless wave clear laning phase, just passively. Especially because Ocean Drake's there. That was really risky. They were really good by UCal, though. And that was pretty close. Breaker almost went down. They're playing with fire needlessly, and we see teams and pros do this all the time. Like, they try to actively do something, even though it's a surety that you win if you do nothing. They're trying,
you see, like, them dropping low health and, like, playing dangerously. But...
Yeah, without there being any reason to do it. It's like, yes, you can get an advantage and you can win sooner, but why do that? You win, like, 100% win is guaranteed if you just wait.
You put yourself on the title.
Yes.
But
You might win 10 minutes sooner if you get that kill,
right.
but there's no reason. Row completed. Swain. This looks fun to play against.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks really, really
I like
fun.
that he has just TP back to lane. Because
Yeah.
they don't want to make plays. They just want to try to get push. Yeah.
Yeah, here's the play on Thal, and it works because you rewind. So they see Talia. They know that Talia has blue, so Talia's not wanting to recall.
Yeah, when Jid pushes that way,
Right.
you have to leave.
And then Thal's up here, and he's not that far behind in CS. And even if he was, he's still ahead. And then obviously, yes, Smeb shows that they are coming for him.
He doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to walk up like this.
Yeah, he doesn't think he does.
Like, he can just stay in vision range, and there's nothing that happens. He just wins. Really, zero reason to do this until, like, he should not walk back up to the wave until Faker's back in mid, even if he loses 1 or 2 minions.
Until you get sided to the
Yeah, you need confirmation.
Yep.
This is, like, the only way that KT is going to win. I also think this is terrible by SKT. There's zero reason to take an ocean, and then if a mountain or an infernal spawns, you just put yourself in a weird spot for no reason.
You should just leave the ocean.
You should just leave ocean up.
Uh-huh.
Because they're not in a position to capitalize on it. They're not going to be for a while. So even if they end up getting it, it's not going to actually dramatically impact the game. This isn't a team composition that benefits from ocean.
Yeah.
So just leave this up. Don't potentially, like, let's say they capture this right now. Great, fantastic. And then infernal or mountain spawns. And you put yourself in the situation where now you have to actually invest more into wards. You have to have a vision fight. You actually kind of have to play into their hands. And there's a potential where they could actually get some sort of a kill or a pick off or whatever.
And there it is. You see, not high TP.
So it's so sick.
Go for that. Like, Nar holds on to TP because he wants to make a play with it.
Yeah, they need to make plays.
Right, so you're giving them the situation where they can do it.
Yeah.
And Swain's dead with no TP. Of course, no TP.
And now they're going to get another turret off it, and Infernal spawning, so, you know, SKT. Oh, man. It's so bad. So bad play by SKT, macro-wise. It's like a misunderstanding or not properly evaluating both team comps. Like, rather than asking what they want, they should just ask what does the opponent need. I talk about this all the time in VOD reviews. Your win condition becomes just not allowing whatever KT needs to happen. Like, in theory, this SKTelecom win condition versus other team compositions might actually have things that it looks to achieve or strive for in terms of, like, setting up fights or, you know, looking for Jarvan plays or something like that or certain timings. But against that KT, because the KT composition is so weak and vulnerable to the SKT one, all of that just goes out the window, and it just becomes, okay, well, what does KT want? And we're just not going to let them do it.
Well, we've already seen it twice.
Yeah, we've already seen it twice. Yeah. SKT playing really, really, really bad. They're bleeding turrets, but that doesn't matter. Like, right now, KT has 3k gold lead, and I would still say they're behind.
No, it's still, the game's still in SKT's favor.
Yeah, it's still in SKT.
Because it's not over, it's in SKT's favor.
Yeah. SKT is down 2 turrets, and they're still ahead.
I mean, the game's obviously harder, but...
Yeah, it's harder, but they made it harder on themselves. They could have just, you know, Swain could have given up a little bit of CS. They could have not been taking the aggressive trades for no reason. They could have just kept wave clearing. Handshaking on that. Like, this is going to work out for them. They get the blue. And they see that UCal is not there, or he's not ready to be there. They have a pretty okay teleport. And this is like KT playing really poorly. So SKT is getting something they shouldn't get. And KT doesn't have the luxury of falling behind. They're really a snowball. And if that snowball gets stopped once, it's never going to get any sort of momentum again. Wow, this is a really beautiful Baron call. And now they should be able to convert this into Infernal Drake. And that should be the end of the game. Yeah, they're going to be able to chase down. Oh, that's really nice by Faker. Azir truly looks like a Sand King here. Wow.
What?
Whoa! Oh, this is the sperm, right? Yeah. Nice. Nice. Wait, isn't Trista Yordle and Narza Yordle?
Yeah.
Maybe females inject the males.
Yeah?
Maybe.
Maybe in
Do you like that?
What?
No. What? Maybe they.
It looks weird. It looks.
Maybe
like
they impregnate. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe we know why Vygar's so angry.
Yeah.
Maybe we know why Amumu's crying.
Yeah.
Oh man. How many times do you think he went through it with that many bandages? Oh, alright. This game's over.
It's pretty bad.
It is.
What do you do? They have Trista's ear with Baron. Looks really fun to play against.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you have to force. That might work. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, they pick up something, but it doesn't matter. They're light years behind. This is the equivalency of being like 15k down. It's that bad. Smeb uses flash, doesn't even matter.
Every character on SKT is more valuable than KT. Alright, maybe, I don't know if Jarvan will off it. Jarvan's probably better. Swain, Azir, Trist for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What a great game. SKT plays super, super, super bad, and then gets a team fight that KT can't afford to lose, and then it just snowballs out of control. It's like one of those nightmare solo queue games. Now, if you're SKT, like, you can go for this final turret because Thal has teleport, and realistically, you shouldn't be able to lose a fight that you have a Phalanx. But you could also ask yourself, do we really need to do this? Because Azir's about to complete item. Jarvan has an item on recall. You could just recall and wait, like captain safety type of a play. Like getting this turret, what does it realistically do? Do you need the 100 gold right now? No, absolutely not. Do you need a team fight to unfold right now? No, absolutely not. You have a major item waiting on Azir, right? Jarvan's going to have an item on recall. Swain can probably get to his boots and stuff. You have all the lanes fixed. Baron's coming up in a minute and a half. There's no reason to not just recall, keep the lanes fixed, and then take this exact fight at Baron and then win. Cloud's coming up in a minute. That's like the best dragon that SKT could actually roll, because it means that KT is a team that they want Elder, because that's their only hope back into the game is an Elder dragon. So KT is required to kill Cloud in order to force that to spawn, and that forces KT to be a little bit stretched across the map. What is going on here? Why is SKT gonna kill the dragon? Are they gonna kill the dragon? What's going on? What was that?
Why did they... Okay.
What?
Why did they kill the dragon?
Tell me. Tell me why they kill it.
Because they want Elder?
They want Elder.
SKT wants Elder.
So here's the question, right? SKT, if you could ask them, you're good enough to win a game from this position without Elder. The answer is yes. Then why create a percentage opportunity for KT? Like, in the first place. Yes, SKT is likely to get the Elder, like, 95% of the time. Right? But that's just to win more. You don't need it. So why enable a 5% thing to even come online? It makes zero sense. Logically, there's no answer. That was a nice wall. That was really late. That's like if the wall between NA and Mexico goes up, but it's like 2040 or something. You know, Donald Trump's like gone. I'm like, well, wait a minute. What's going on here? Like, I don't understand. That should never go up, by the way, but whatever.
This is very over.
Are you sure? It's looking pretty close. I mean, KT, great team comp.
I mean, ideally there are no chances for KT to win, but there were openings because SKT sort of handed them over.
Yeah, but every little thing that could be good for them is still a percentage increase, no matter how minor it is. You know? There's no reason to allow it to happen. It's honestly just a win more. I am going to cry if they get the Elder and then win the game. Because then, you know, people are like, wow, that Cloudrick was an excellent capture. They knew they would get it. But then you look at the game right now, and you ask yourself if SKT need Elder to win from this position.
Oh.
Okay. Bang's doing pretty well. All right. I love seeing Olaf run away. It's my favorite thing in the world.
All right.
All right. Well, that was it for that game. I mean, we can go back to the team fight that bust everything wide open. Where is it?
Insulators, Swain TP. Here.
So Deft shoves in mid. UCal is shoving in top, and now they feel obligated to go into the blue side jungle completely by themselves. Nara isn't even there yet, and UCal is completely out of the fight. If anything goes, anything goes wrong. And obviously they weren't expecting the Thal teleport, but it's like, why? You can look for a fight at Dragon. You do not need to stop Azir from getting his blue. All of this vision is irrelevant, because nothing's ever going to happen to UCal up in top. So you don't need to dedicate vision over here. You don't need to clear vision out over here. It is extremely unlikely that any team is going to be able to magically burst Baron at this time in the game, unless the enemy team has multiple members dead. So with that being said, why aren't you just spending all the resources? Like, you have priority shoved in on mid. Your jungler clears out the vision over here. Why doesn't Mata and Def just keep priority mid? Nar has all of this area cleared out. You set up vision control, and you just lock it. And you let UCal shove in top. You wait for them to send someone to respond to UCal. And then because Swain's going down into bottom, which I guess they don't know about right now, it's likely going to be Azir or it's going to be Bang or something.
And then you can force numbers.
And then you can force numbers, right. And then from there, you just look, you get the convert into the Infernal Drake, you get that, and then you look for a team fight after you all hit your next item spike. So SKT played really, really poor in a macro-wise for the early portion of the game, taking needless fights, needless trades and stuff. Obviously, Thal just completely mispositioned in top lane, didn't wait for Faker, especially knowing UCal's HP, his mana, he doesn't want to recall, he has his blue buff given to him, they don't have any vision. And things end up, even with those advantages, KT still couldn't do anything with it. So that was pretty much it for SKT versus KT Game 1. Overall, pretty disappointing. KT's draft was NA level, so, I mean, they got that going for them.